Well, a parliamentary panel is reviewing the 3 bills to replace existing criminal laws in the country, including the Indian Penal Code or the IPC. This has been, suggested earlier as well. And significant amendments are suggested, which are likely to be discussed on Friday in a meeting. In fact, in its draft report, the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Home Affairs has recommended bringing back the adultery law and adding a gender-neutral provision to it, apart from criminalising non-consensual sex between men, women or transgender. So this is something that has been in the works for quite some time, but now the parliamentary panel seriously thinking of recommending this to the government. Arvind Gunasekar has more details.
The government introduced 3 bills to completely amend or completely review all the 3 existing criminal laws that also include Indian Penal Code along with CRPC Criminal Procedure Code along with Indian Evidence Act. So 3 new bills were introduced on the last date of last session to amend or to complete for complete review of all the 3 Indian Penal Code and also CRPC and also Indian Evidence Act. Subsequently, those 3 bills were sent to the Parliamentary Standing Committee. So Parliamentary Standing Committee on Home Affairs has dealt with this issue. They also reviewed the 3 new bills and they also sought the views of the stakeholders from outside also. So after a detailed discussion on the 3 new bills that have been proposed by the centre, the committee has come up with a draft report. That particular draft report was supposed to be taken on record today and that particular draft report was supposed to be adopted today. But today some of the members sought more time to go through the draft report that has been circulated to them, and that's where the committee has deferred adoption of this particular report at least till November 6th. So the committee will again sit on November 6th to go through the 3 draft reports that have been circulated to the members, and then based on the majority vote, the committee will take a call whether to adopt the draft report or not. Keeping that aside, coming to the content of this particular draft report, which we have access exclusively, it clearly shows that the committee in its draft report has recommended that section 377 that was decriminalized by the Supreme Court, the committee in its draft report has suggested that it should be retained. Section 377 should be retained. That's the one of the recommendations of this particular committee. Also, very importantly, the adultery that was struck down by the Supreme Court, the committee feels that that particular adultery section should also be brought back into the new bill that will be replacing IPC in order to protect the integrity of marriage seems to be the logic or reason behind the committee's one of such recommendation. Also, very importantly, like you mentioned, even in the case of adultery, the committee is recommending in its draft report that it should be gender neutral. So these 2 are the important changes that the committee is making in its draft report. So we have to wait and watch on November 6th. If at all if the committee accepts and adopts the draft report, then it will be a recommendation that will be sent to the centre on 2 important issues. One, the committee wants section 377 should be retained, and also adultery also should be retained in a gender neutral.